Yes guys, it's Jando. Today we're going to be looking at how to make a D&B track like Boo, very similar to his tracks Nan Slapper, Fuck Jump Up and many more. Let's jump straight into the track preview.
Something on the cricket pitch.
Yes guys, if you're looking for high quality samples and presets as well as loads of other stuff, as well as 25% off everything on orders over £20, head over to my website, head to your cart, click checkout, and when you get to the checkout, click add discount code and use code LOVEDNB for 25% off. So yeah, that's the track, and let's jump straight into how we've made the drums. So starting off with the drums, I've got them here in this group section. We're going to start off with our kick and snare. We've obviously got this very basic drum and bass pattern seen in and heard in many drum and bass tracks, and the majority of drum and bass tracks, to be honest, is a basic kick snare pattern. The main thing we're going to be focusing on for tracks similar to Boo or tracks like Boo's tracks is the snappy and punchy drums. So this is going to come down to the way that you process it or your sample selection. You want a hard snappy kick drum as well as a hard snappy snare drum, something that punches and pushes through the mix. Moving on to our top end with our hi-hats, shakers, rides, etc. With a lot of Boo's tracks, especially Nan Slapper and Fuck Jump Up, we have more fast-paced tops with higher velocity compared to other tracks that he's done. So for this, we're going to use volume automation and various other production techniques to create this skippy feeling in your top end and your hi-hats. So what I've got here is a very basic hi-hat to start with that's hitting on every quarter beat. And this one's from a Milk Studio sample pack who I worked with before on sample pack, so I highly recommend going over and copying some Milk Studio sample packs, super high quality. But yeah, so we've got a very basic hi-hat here to start with. And we're just going to couple this up with our kick and our snare now. Yeah, very basic to start with. And then we're going to start adding in our shakers or our more fast-paced and higher velocity hat samples. And the way that I've done this here to get this kind of skippy vibe to the shaker is by using volume automation. So every second hi-hat we have in here, we're going to drop this in volume, and that's going to create this skipping effect. If we take that away and just clear this envelope, it gives us a more natural and organic feel to the hi-hat or shaker, and it also adds that nice groove to the sample as well. Moving on, we have our ride cymbal. So for our ride here, I've got this ride loop, and I can't remember what sample pack it's from, but very basic. This one kind of sits more in the back of the mix, but it's just filling out the mix. It sits at the back, but it's filling it out more, and it's adding variation to our drums. So we've got that in there with no processing or anything on. And then moving over to this, we've got two live percussion loops here. So for this one, this is our live shaker. Sounds way more organic, and again, this is sitting in the back of the mix, as well as this hi-hat here, which is another live hat. And that's just sitting in the back of our mix as well. And then all together with what we have so far, we get this nice drum pattern here. Very Boo style, which is super sick. As well as this, I've also decided to add in my breaks. So I'll show you the breaks here and what I've done. So we've got our classic Amen break. And then we've got another one here, which has got less transients on. And it's chopped slightly differently, as well as this break here. And I'm using this here to break up the different sections of our track and our drop. So we've got it here, halfway through the intro, 8 bars. And then every 8 bars and 16 bars, we're adding in this variation in our breaks here. So for this first 8 bars, and then the second 8 bars, adding slight bits of variation, and it keeps that tempo with the track. And I feel like breaking up the track into these sections, whether it's 8-bar sections or 16-bar sections, makes the track flow a lot better and lets you transition into the different variants of the track and add variation in easier, because the transitions become more seamless that way. So far with our breaks as well, we have this right here. Yeah, that's what we've got for our drums. Pretty basic drums, nothing too much, but that gives you a kind of insight into how I've made these. Now we're going to move on to bass. So for our bass here, this is the bass that we're working with. If I just play the whole thing for the bass. Yeah, for our basses here, we've got these two kind of metallic sounding synths. I'll show you how I've made these two. So we're using this acid wavetable. Now this is actually from the massive wavetables for Serum pack. You can get it for free online. If I can find the link, I'll plug it in the description or pop it up on the screen if I can find it. If not, just search that into Google and I'm sure you'll find it. But for this patch, we're using this acid wavetable with a harmonic wavetable, a harmonic series wavetable on oscillator B. We've got -1 and +1 on opposing oscillators, and then we've got MG load 12. We've got our cutoff sitting at 191. We've got our res at 10. Drive and fat at the same. We're also turning on our sub oscillator and using direct out. And the reason I tend to use the sub oscillator is for the majority of sounds, it adds this kind of background grit to the bass and makes it a lot bigger and a lot fatter. So I like using the sub and then taking the sub off afterwards once I've distorted and added saturation, etc. And it just makes the sound a little bit more fat in my opinion. But yeah, that's what we've got for the main patch if you want to copy this down. And then for our FX here, we're using hyperdimension. The reason we use this is it's adding that slight bit of stereo width to our sound just to widen it, make it sound less mono. But this is just one of the steps to creating width and like stereo width to our bass. There's another one to come in a minute. We've then got distortion. My go-to distortion on this is Stompbox. I don't really know why. It's quite a gritty distortion, which is probably the reason why I use it the most out of all the others, but it's very gritty. And yeah, I've just got along with it the best. Moving on, we're just doing a slight bit of compression here. We're gain staging here on our comp gain. So we've just got a multiband here, and now we're moving on to Combs filter. So the Combs filter is what is kind of making this sound so metallic in the first place. It's a combination of many things. Obviously, it's all to do with the wavetables and the way that we've created the sound. But this comb filter is doing probably the most part of, well, this is doing the most heavy lifting for this metallic sound. If I just flick this comb filter off, yeah, it's doing the most. So what we've got going on with the combs, if we've got 47 hertz on our cutoff, and then we've got 46% on our res. And that's what's given us that metallic sound. Moving on to the next patch, which is very similar, and it's pretty much the same patch, it's just got some slight alterations. We're using the same wavetable, same harmonic series, but this time we've got a +2 on our on the oscillator B octave here. Then we're going to move over to our FX, which we've got 52 hertz on our cutoff this time, and for our res we're staying at 46. Still got a multi-band on, still the same percentage of drive, and still the same for our hyperdimension. So it's just changing those slight things. We've also got our FM here. This is at 45% on this one. If I just revisit the other patch quickly, it's also at 45%. So yeah, these are the two main patches, the two main basses. And then we've got our respace here, and then our sub bass. We've also got a slight bit of variation within our bass here. So once the track progresses more, this is after, what's this, 32 16 bars here. We've got this slight variation in our main bass. We'll just visit this patch as well. This is just adding +2 to the octave here, and then keeping this here at 47. So 52, I type that, yeah, 52 would make this like our other bass, but we're going to keep this at 47. Yeah, slight bit of variation in the bass, adds more energy. If I just turn off the other sections quickly. Yeah, adds that cool bit of variation. And yeah, so let's move on to our reverbed bass. So this is literally the exact same patch that we've been using for our main bass, but we're doing some extra little bit of processing, which I will show you here. So in between our breaks within the track, to help break the track up more and kind of prepare for a transition, I've included these reverbed versions, or more heavily reverbed versions of the bass, to kind of strip back from the track a little bit to prepare for a transition. So in the track here, out with that breakdown. So all we've done there is just increased our mix and increased our space on the Pro R, and then I've also dipped the EQ here just to take away some of those kind of harsher frequencies. When you start pushing the mix up and pushing the space up on your reverb, it can start bringing in some harsher frequencies. I've just put a dip on our EQ just to tame those a little bit. I'm going to also take you through my distortion here quickly, and this is the decapitator from Soundtoys, hands down best distortion plugin in my opinion. But we're just using +3 on the drive and doing nothing else to it. We're also on style A there. And then with our main bass as well, I'll just quickly show you our FabFilter settings are 12.14 and 0.71, and then we've EQ'd off quite a bit of that low mid section on our reverb EQ as well, to revisit that quickly. So yeah, I'm using this reverb section here for the basses to kind of add a breakdown. So we go 8 bars into our drop, and then just before the next 8 bars we kind of strip back slightly to prepare for a transition. And doing this kind of thing again, like I said before, helps with making it a little bit more seamless between the transitions and more smooth, and then you go into like a variation within the drop. Next we're going to quickly check out our intro bass as well. Now this is very similar to what I've just shown you with the reverbed bass, but I think I've gone a little bit more heavy with the kind of the spacing out and the reverb of this. So what I've done here, so this is our kind of bass tease in our intro, so I'll just show you this quickly. Yeah, this is us teasing the intro, the drop a little bit within our intro. Kind of gives listeners a little bit of an idea what's going to be going on in the drop, but it also adds that kind of suspense, and it helps with the build up, to be honest. So yeah, this is what we're doing. Exact same patch as before. We're taking off a lot of that kind of mid-low section. We're not really taming those frequencies like I was before, because we don't need to. We've taken off a lot of this low mid, and that's just to help it sit at the back of the mix more and not be so prominent within the mix. And then we're also using this Pro R here, which we've gone much heavier on the mix and the space. We're going 60% mix and 2.1% on the space, and that's just helping this sit right at the back of the mix, and help with kind of building suspense in our build up. So yeah, that's our intro basses as well. Now we're just going to quickly look at our vocals. There's not really too much to say about this, but vocal and sample selection can be really difficult when you're picking vocals for your track. It can sometimes be one of the most jarring things ever, but sometimes you find banging vocals that are just perfect for your track. This one is actually an interlude from one of Serum's old EPs or LPs, I can't remember, but it's a cricket. It's a I don't like cricket interlude, and I thought, you know what, fuck this, I'm sampling it, and it sounds super sick. So we just got this sample here. We've got our full sample if we want to use it. We've got plenty to use here.
On the cricket pitch.
And then, so this here, we're using Little Alter Boy, which is again from Soundtoys, just to pitch down and format down as a little variant. But our main sample, is without the Little Alter Boy.
or something on the cricket pitch.
And that's our main hook for the track, and then throughout the tune we also have variation within the vocal using Little Altar Boy again.
On the cricket pitch. Or something on the cricket pitch.
Yeah, super sick sample, and I really like how that has worked in the tune. So moving on to our FX and our intro now. So this intro and FX I was pretty lazy on, to be honest. I used a lot of resampling to create the intro, but I'm also going to show you some of the little things that I've done that help build the track in general. So we're just going to quickly go over these like little melodies and these atmospheres that we use. Super sick samples, they help build a lot of tension. So I'm layering this atmosphere here with our main pad that I showed you before. We're having it slightly quieter so it sits a little bit further back in the mix. Then we've also got this sample here, which is like a horror atmosphere. And again, this sits quite far back in the mix as well. You can't really hear it the best when you're listening to the track, but that's the point. It's just sitting in the back, adding like structure to the tune. Yeah, adding structure. And what we're also doing with this here, this main one, I'm using, if I just double click on the sample, go over to clip and then transposition, we're just using like a pitch bend on this to help with the build up. So it just slowly goes up in pitch. And then we fade it out, ready for the vocal, and we've also got another riser here layered. But this riser kind of takes over the most, to be honest. We've also got this one. As well as this little riser here. Yeah, so the main thing that I wanted to show you with the FX here, which is helping kind of build and structure the track the most, is it's super simple, but it's just this impact sample, like impact FX. And I can't remember where I've got the sample from, probably Splice, maybe Loop Cloud or something like that, or a random sample pack. But these are super key in my tunes, I feel, to add that kind of filler in the background of the mix and help bulk out the tune a little bit more. I use it pretty much throughout the entire drop, and it just helps so much more. If I just show you like an example here, if I turn the FX off, and we'll just have like a little before and after with this effect.
Something on the cricket pitch.
Yeah, that's before, and then we turn it back on.
Something on the cricket pitch.
That little kind of impact white noise helps fill out the mix so much more and makes that drop feel so much harder and heavier. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the entire tune. I'm thinking about releasing the full stems to this onto my Patreon, so you can get like the full track to mess around with yourself. If I don't, I definitely am releasing the Serum presets for this. But yeah, hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know what else you want to what other videos you want to see from like other artists, etc. But yeah, nice one.